What's up YouTube, this is RL Yoshi as usual. I'm Max bringing you more Let's Play Asagao Academy, Normal Boots Club. Last time, Hana here ended up getting ice cream on her blouse, and that was the worst thing to ever happen to her, apparently. So, yeah, moving on. I woke up to my alarm beeping, feeling only dread of the hours to come. After the nightmare that was the ice cream incident yesterday, I never wanted to take another step out of my room. I curled up inside my blankets as my alarm went off. It was only the second day of school, and I felt the same as I did every morning at home. Mai, of course, was already up, and I could hear her hair straightener clap shut every few seconds from across the room. I felt bad about letting the alarm go off for so long, so I slid my hand out of the covers to switch it off. Hana? Hana, get up, sleepyhead. I know you're awake. I didn't even have time to poke my head out before Mai's body slammed into the edge of my mattress, bouncing me up. She jumped from almost halfway across the room.
Morning.
Ha! You can't hide from Mai! Sorry. Why is that worthy of an apology? I was breathless, and I paused to calm my heart before speaking again. Are you worried about what happened yesterday? No one cares about it, Hana. I almost forgot about it myself. She must have seen my face. She brought an arm around my shoulders and pulled me closer to her. For real though, we're gonna go to class and no one's even gonna mention that you made a huge fool of yourself yesterday. Thanks, Mai. You could have put that better. My thoughts nearly exactly. I'm kidding. It might have been a big scene, but it totally wasn't your fault. It was Paul, alright? When you jump, you have to calculate your trajectory, like I did just now. He could learn a lot from a master like me. Why am I slurring all my words today? I'm drunk. I should go home. Get dressed and cheer up. I could bottle up your gloom and sell it to a wizard. And what if he used it for evil? You can't let that happen, Hana. Her smile was wide enough to bridge a gap between continents. The beginnings of tears pricked the back of my eyes, but this time they were for a different reason. They were for the reason of dogs barking. I opened my closet and tried to avoid looking at the sad lump of clothing inside, slathered with dried up ice cream. I only had 2 uniforms, which cost my dad an entire month's salary. If I wasn't able to get the stain out of this uniform, what would I do? Just launder your other one every day? Or just wear it and not give a shit? Like, it was... What type of ice cream was it? Like, because if it was vanilla, then... That just makes white, which even white stains eventually just end up taking on the image, like the color of what it's on. So who cares? If it was a different color, then yeah, you might be in a bit of trouble. But if it's something like pink, people won't really care. So if it was strawberry, if it was chocolate, then you're SOL. But point being, never mind. This is the problem. Visual novel protagonists are always just so, like, shy and withdrawn, and then they always worry so much about stuff, like, that just, at the very least, that I would not worry about. Like this, with the ice cream thing. It's like, and the hair color. Okay, people do make fun of the hair color, but still. Anyway, moving on. Sighing, I took my second uniform off its hanger and slipped it on as Mai waited impatiently for me. Ready to go? I guess so. Why does Mai... I just realized, why does Mai not wear the jacket part of the uniform? Just noticed this. Good. Just as Mai said, no one paid any special attention to me. Well, there were a few odd looks here and there, but nothing nearly as bad as what I was expecting. See? Stop worrying. Visual novel protagonists, calm the hell down. Just calm your tits. As the lecture went on, my anxiety for the most part faded. I took to staring out the window to avoid eye contact. A few boys were out on the field playing soccer. Wait, was that PBG? I scooted closer, trying to get a better look. Hana? At the sound of my name, I leaped to attention. If there's something more interesting outside than samurai death battles, please feel free to enlighten us. You came here to learn, not to contemplate the scenery. Yes, Miss Shizuka, I'm sorry. Anyone else think that's just kind of BS, calling out a student, like, in front of the entire class? Like, if they've been an asshole for a while, yeah, then do that. But, like, this is the second day of school. She's new here, and you already saw yesterday that she's really shy. Lady, calm down. She turned back to the chalkboard and continued her lecture as if nothing happened. A few desks in front of me, a guy sitting next to Brutal Moose turned around and gave me a flashy thumbs up. I made a face at him, unsure of what exactly he expected me to do. Then Ian turned around and socked him on the head. The other guy mumbled something to him, probably apologizing. Ian's eyes slid to me for a brief instant. Then he looked away. Were they looking at me because of what happened yesterday? Or was there some other reason? I shook my head. There wasn't time for this. I had work to do if I wanted to keep my scholarship. After pages and pages of notes on Japanese history, it was nearly time for lunch. Okay, everyone is almost free to go. The work tonight isn't so hard, so don't grumble. You should work together to complete it if you have a hard time. Also, as you may be aware, the Flower Festival is coming up in a week and a half. This news was met with a few cheers as everyone started to pack up. Since you have the day of the festival off, our first exam will be the day before. There were no cheers this time. Romance is wonderful, believe me, I know, but try not to let the festival distract you, okay? That is all. See you tomorrow. Miss Shizuka flashed a peace sign and winked as she walked out the door. What's with your mood swings, lady? Like, 2 seconds ago you were screaming at me for glancing out the window, and now all of a sudden you're flashing peace signs and winks and going on about romance? Lady, I don't like you. I don't like you one bit. You also have a hard to pronounce last name. And first name. What a weird teacher. That lecture was so boring. Mai walked beside me, a tray in her hands. We were shuffling through the cafeteria trying to find a seat. I don't know why I thought the cafeteria started with an E there. Didn't you say that yesterday? Probably, but it's true for today, too. Anna, help me. I'm gonna die of boredom. We have an assignment to keep us busy, Mai.
What?
We already have work to do. How did you not hear that? Mai sighed dramatically, then leaned to the side and rested her head in the crook of my neck. I reached up to pat her head a few times, but she straightened before I could do it. How does Mai not have a route to go down? Oh god, Hana, Paul's walking over here. He's looking at you. Does he look angry to you? Why is he coming over here? Do you think he's gonna kick you again? The same Paul who humiliated me last night strode towards me. I instinctively backed away, but he kept coming closer. Hey. I'm glad I found you. He didn't look angry to me. In fact, he was giving me an odd, lopsided smile. I wanted to make sure you weren't hurt or anything. You ran off before I could properly apologize. I looked down at my feet. It was embarrassing enough that I ran off crying like a little girl, but to know that I made them feel bad was even worse. At the same time, the image of my ruined uniform popped into my mind. I couldn't tell whether I was more angry or embarrassed, or whether I was feeling something else entirely. Romance. I got you pretty bad, didn't I? I think I ballerinaed too hard. Same. I know. I've been there, man. I've been there. I ballerina way too hard. He tilted his head to the side. It's a shame you're not wearing the uniform from yesterday. I like the pink splotches on you. It matched your hair. Okay, so it was strawberry. A deep, sick feeling crawled up from my stomach to sit in my throat. My dumb, stupid hair. Everywhere I went, people made fun of it. I swear, if people keep bringing up the hair, I swear she's gonna end up going carry on these people. Like, seriously, that's what's gonna happen. I'm calling it right here. She's gonna go carry on them. I thought the Normal Boots guys were different, and he was trying to apologize. How could he say something like that to me? 'Cause he doesn't know you hate it. Not for the first time, I thought of dyeing it a different color, but quickly dismissed it. Paul was waiting for a response, Mai giving me a quick nod as if warning me not to mess this up. I mustered up my best smile, hoping it was at least somewhat convincing. It's okay. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, I'm more than happy to pay for the dry cleaning. Josh and Nick and I feel really bad about everything. We've never made a girl cry before. Well, not by physically injuring her, I guess. Thank you, but I was just gonna scrub it in the sink. Dad and I could never afford things like dry cleaners, so I was surprisingly good at hand washing things. That thing's gonna need more than just hot water and soap, trust me. Tell you what, I have a friend who's a natural with that kind of stuff. I'll ask her to get the stain out for you. Just meet me later and bring your uniform, okay? I'll try not to kick you this time. I like Paul. Like, I want to go by the comments and whatnot. I might end up going against what the comments say if I decide that there's a guy that I just like enough in this. That being said, I will say that out of the comments, there have basically only been 2 of the guys who have actually gotten any votes, and I think one other guy got like 1. But that being said, I'm probably going to end up going for one of those 2, or I'll change my mind and go for someone else if I decide I like them enough. But anyway, without giving me time to say yes or no, he nodded and turned to leave. He spun quickly back around. I flinched. Are you and, Mai, right? Do you guys have a table? The cafeteria is pretty full right now. You could sit with us if you want, just for today. Yes, we'll go. Right, Hana? Lunch with the Normal Boots Club? Maybe I really could become friends with them. And then no one would bother me again. Not about my hair or the ice cream incident, right?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Alright,
follow me, ladies. He led us to the middle of the cafeteria where the Normal Boots Club sat with a table all to itself. I can't remember the voices I did for these people, so I'm sorry if it's inconsistent. Hey, you found her! You're Hana, right? I nodded, blushing as I took a seat at the edge of the table next to Paul. Mai forced herself between Jared and PBG. Her eyes were only a few sparkles away from forming huge hearts. Real subtle. So, Hana, we saw that you were upset and we're all worried. Are you feeling better? PBG looked at me, clearly concerned. My heart was beating hard against my chest, but I wasn't sure whether it was because I was nervous or because the sad look on his face made me want to give him a hug. That sentence went on a lot more than I prepared air for. Or maybe it was because I was about 2 inches away from Paul and only an arm's length away from all the other guys. As I tried valiantly to open my mouth, whispers sped around the lunchroom. Look at those girls over there. Who do they think they are? How come they get to sit there? I wish Senpai would notice me. Jesus Christ. Main characters get all the luck. Does everybody have knowledge of the fourth wall but me? Suddenly, my thoughts turned dark. Could it be that by getting close to these guys, I was setting myself up as a target instead of getting protection? My thoughts spun in my head. I was suffocating. PBG was still looking at me, even more worried than before. I'm fine. Thanks for your concern. Please don't feel bad. It was my fault for getting in the way. I'm sorry for causing such a scene. I should have controlled myself better. Come on, it is not your fault. This is another thing I hate when they do it for visual novel protagonists, is when they have to apologize for every little thing they do, even when they didn't do it. Like, holy crap. Can we have a visual novel where the main character is not a freaking doormat? Please. I want that. I hung my head. I wasn't sure how to act around these guys, so I defaulted to extremely polite. My father would have been proud. Hey, Hana, don't apologize. It was Paul's fault. Paul's fault? That's actually harder to say than you think. Right, Paulie? Nick shoved Paul, who looked exasperated. I apologized as best I could, Nick. Give me a break. It was a relief that PBG wasn't staring at me anymore. Almost no one else was paying me or Mai any attention. Shane, however, was still shooting me quick, suspicious glances. It was almost like he didn't want me there, and I felt uncomfortable.
Hey, Hana.
I have no idea how to do his voice. How do you like it here so far, Hana? Good. How about you? I like it here. Thank you. Gerard smiled at me, then turned away. I picked at my food. The guys were all wrapped up in their own conversations, and Mai was busy preventing hyperventilation from being so close to Jared. I can feel his body heat. Creepy. Oh dear.
Hey.
You doing okay, Hana? A smiling Satch turned to me. Ah, yes, you, the axe murderer. I know we could be overwhelming. You're fine, right? Yeah, I am. Thank you. I winced. Sorry, I can be a bit of a wallflower. No need to apologize. I'm sure we've all been wallflowers before. But that reminds me, the Flower Festival. He turned to the group, addressing them all, and as if on cue, they all suddenly turned to pay him attention. Who are you all taking this year? In before everybody says Hana. Right, the Flower Festival. Miss Shizuka mentioned it before. What is the Flower Festival? No one's explained it to me yet.
Well...
It's basically just a festival. Didn't you have those at your old school? We did have festivals at my old school, but they were basically just 40 kids grouped in one room sharing snacks they brought from home. Well, we had something kinda like them, but I stopped going.
Really?
Aw, why not? They're so fun. I didn't really want to answer. There was no way I could say, well, my friends turned on me, so when I went, people pretended I didn't exist. But Mai was waiting for an answer, and everyone was looking at me. I'm just... not into that stuff, I guess. Oh, well, maybe you'll like this one more. The Flower Festival happens all over Japan around this time of year, but it's a big deal in Higanbana. That's a town right next to Asagao. There's apparently some kind of myth about flowers that's somewhat important. Supposedly, the founder of Higanbana was an old man who got lost in the mountains and almost died of thirst. This flower spirit came to him and offered him help in return for his vow to protect her home. He agreed, and she drained herself of all her water so he could drink. The man founded Higanbana to watch over the meadow in which he met the flower. In some versions of the myth, the man and the flower spirit fell in love. Sparkle Bad! It's a truly romantic festival. One may hope to find someone with which to make a vow of eternal love, just as the man and the spirit did, and to live on to protect the one they love. Jared winked and Mai swooned. So during the day of the flower festival, there's a lot of stalls set up, and you can go play games and eat food or go flower viewing. Then at night, there's a special meadow over by the temple where you can go watch the flowers, and there's a bonfire and dancing. It's a lot of fun. We look forward to it every year. Asagao sells paper flowers in a little booth to raise money for the school, too, so there's usually a big volunteer drive beforehand for people who are good at origami. Origami? I'm good at origami.
Really?
Really? Shane is, too. Maybe you should work together. Shane gave a tight-lipped smile. Somehow I didn't think that would be happening.
Hey.
Hey, speaking of, I swear you rejected 10 girls last festival season. I mean, that's nothing compared to me, naturally, but there were so many girls with broken hearts. Even I couldn't mend them all. You still hung up on your English girlfriend?
What?
Shane flinched, visibly taken aback. Then he shrugged. I don't talk to her anymore. Oh, Shane, I just want you to be happy, that's all. He wiped away a fake tear. Shane grimaced. How great would it be if someone asked me? Maybe even if one of the Normal Boots guys did. No, I doubted that would ever happen. They were only letting me sit there because they physically assaulted me. I sighed and cut my beefcake with a plastic knife. So, any girls in mind, fellas? Beside me, Mai shifted nervously. Her eyes kept flicking from Jared to her french fries. She looked like a child who stole several cookies. Jared spread out his arms and raised an eyebrow, a god waiting for names to fall into his lap. Jared is a god. Jared is the god of sparkles, damn it, and you will worship him. I'm thinking of going solo this year, to be honest. Yeah. Same. Really? Okay, I understand it's to set up for the whole romance routes, but this is a group of, apparently, the most popular guys in school. And there is no one they want to ask. There is no one who is asking them. This makes, like, no sense. Moving on. Man, you guys are boring. You aren't much better, man. Hi, I am on another level compared to you guys. I've already got my choice picked out. There was a quiet clattering next to me. Mai had dropped her fork. Yeah, I'm sure you have. And there'll probably be a new choice tomorrow. Jared flipped his hair with his hand. You know me so well. There's only so much time to make so many different girls' dreams come true. I must find the one who is most in need. So it's not even about which one you like, huh? Nope! And you make fun of me. Just then, the warning bell rang. It was time to head back to class. As everyone got up to toss their trays, I stood up and, overwhelmed with a sudden burst of feeling, shouted. Thank you for letting me and Mai eat lunch with you today. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thanks. Hana was having a terrible day and you guys cheered her right up. So, see you guys again tomorrow, same time? Mai tilted her head, eyes twinkling. Mai, Paul said we could only sit with them today. It's cool. Paul waved a hand in dismissal, almost dropping his tray with the other. The cafeteria is really crowded, and we have extra room at our table. People are too afraid to sit with us or something. Well, we did kick a girl yesterday. All three of them shrugged at the same time, then left the room, moving in unison like a team of synchronized swimmers. Jared dumped his tray and jogged to catch up with them. As soon as they were out of earshot, Mai took my hands in hers and jumped up and down. I think you peaked the mic there, girl. You did it, Hana! We get to sit at the popular table! I've been trying to do this for 2 years, and you did it in 2 days! She dropped her hands and made a, jokingly, I think, angry face. Main characters have all the fun. Okay, that was great. You'll be in Paris painting a diorama or a papier-mâché lamp, anything postmodern. Then write a paper on design, or don't, that works too. But remember, this project will count for 10% of your final grade, so work hard. Sound good? Lady, it's day 2 and you're giving us something that's 10% of our final mark? What the hell? The only response was bitter murmuring. Miss Shizuka often ended with sound good, but she never cared about the answer. Alright, in the last few minutes of class, pick your partners and discuss your project plan. We'll continue next time. In a matter of seconds, almost all the desks in the classroom connected. I looked at Mai, but a girl, Mimi Santos, already claimed her. Mai frowned at me as if to apologize. I scanned the classroom for the few other people I met, finding them already paired. I was going to be the only one without a partner. Suddenly, the world shook! The edge of a desk collided with mine.
Hey.
Guess we'll be working together! PBG sat in front of me with a cheeky grin. Didn't he sit on the other side of the room? How did he get his desk over here so quickly? I leaned over to look past him. He left a gaping hole and several collapsed students in his wake. Seeing my gaze, he turned around. Oh, oops, sorry. He waved sheepishly. A boy glared at him. Well, for better or worse, we're partners. I guess we are. Sorry. Why are you apologizing? Wait, no, that's not what I meant at all. You're super smart. I'm just sorry you're stuck with me. You're pretty smart too, though. Right? Not that I knew. I guess. But I hate schoolwork. I don't care about it at all. 10% of our grade depended on this project. Oh, not that I'm gonna make you do it all. I may not like school, but I'm not gonna let someone else fail just because I think it sucks. I haven't done something like that since I was a kid. The girl got so mad. I learned my lesson. He laughed, hitting the desk and crinkling his nose. I didn't see what was so funny, but from the way he was looking at me, it seemed like I should. I smiled hesitantly. He stopped laughing and frowned at me, the same way he did yesterday. Do you like apple cider? What? I'm sorry? Or, pinball? Or what about magnolias? Yeah, I guess I do. You... guess you do? But... you... He sputtered, opening and closing his mouth like he was trying to eat the air. Delicious air! I searched his face, wanting to help him out. He was clearly struggling. PBG leaned forward, looking into my eyes like he was deciphering a code. Really forward. So close I could see little brown flecks in his eyes forward. What? PBG moved away, his anxious look fading into a slight smile. Actually, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it? I was brainstorming, a subject for our piece, but you didn't have any strong reactions to anything, so I guess we won't be doing those then. Like hell. The bell rang and students started packing up. Oh no, we didn't get to pick a project. I'm sorry, that's my fault. I was messing around. But don't worry, I'll come up with something. Just leave it to me. He thumped his chest as he got out of his chair, striking a pose and giving me a wide, reassuring smile. He shuffled his desk back to his side of the room as I packed my things away. I didn't quite understand what happened, but maybe it was better to forget about it. He didn't seem to want to explain. Alright, that is probably going to end this episode off. So, we have now interacted with PBG properly, and we've gotten to sit at the cool kids table. Okay, so we got to sit at the cool kids table, and we actually got a partner for a partner project. This is definitely not like my school experience. I've been Nex, and see you next time for more Asagao Academy. Failing to pronounce things edition.